Alright, Simeon Panda, probably my second favorite fake natty after Michael Trent himself. And let's see what this man is eating to achieve this type of physique, okay? My name's Shay, I'm an athlete and a nutritionist, and let's break it down, yeah? What's he got here? We got some red wine to start with. Okay.
Covered, very nice, you know. We have like a glass of wine every other night with our meal, so that answers that question for you. More details in a sec. Show you.
Yeah, I mean, red wine does have some flavonoids which are anti-inflammatory compounds, but the amount that you're actually getting from them isn't enough to actually warrant drinking the alcohol. Like, if you're gonna drink, sure, but I don't believe that red wine is really much healthier, because the amount you'd have to drink as far as red wine to actually see any benefits from the flavonoid compounds would be enough to where you'd be very drunk. So, I mean, do what you want, I guess.
It's actually makes a change that there's only 2 flavors in there, because we like to have, you know, a big collection of flavors.
Alright, so this is diet wine and ice cream, guys. You heard it here first. No.
For you. So that strategy might be not having these things in the house. The qualities that you should look for in a healthy snack are, it should be high in fiber and high in protein. The fiber specifically will give you that feeling of not necessarily being full, but having appeased your appetite, you know? So let's put that down. Another thing that you should remember is listen to your body. Hunger is not a bad thing. If you are hungry, you should eat. You know, it's just making the right choices when this occurs. Avoiding or...
I mean, this is so consistent among so many fitness YouTubers. There's just a large fear of calories. He's saying, listen to your body if you're hungry, but also if you're hungry, trick it into thinking you're actually giving it calories by giving you satiating foods that are actually lower in calorie. That's why I'm saying the fiber and protein, because we don't want to eat too much food, even though your body is signaling you to eat more because it needs more calories. And you're listening to it. He's saying listen to it, but don't give it what it needs, okay? Like, yes, high fiber, high protein, that's gonna be helpful for, you know, being satiated, that's well proven, but this isn't a video on cutting. Like, there's no way you get to this sort of size by just cutting all the time. Like, you talk to any decent athlete, if they're hungry, it's just, you gotta eat more. Like, who actually tries to cut all the time?
Bit of an obvious one. Don't want a high insulin spike with your snack. You know, we're trying to keep everything running smooth. We don't want a high fat or high salt snack either. You know, these are the things that we're gonna try and avoid.
Yeah, I mean, there's a caveat with all these things, like take sodium. It's not really an issue for the increased blood pressure. I don't really believe in that, because there's so much confounding in the studies. The people that eat high sodium eat high fast food, and therefore they end up with bad outcomes. It's not really the salt. Especially when you consider that you do need it for training, like all the blood volume, all the nerve contraction, muscle contraction, cardiovascular output. It's like, you can't avoid salt, particularly if you're training a lot and sweating a lot. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Okay, high in sugar, sure, I can agree with that, sort of. I mean, if you want to have sugar pre-workout, that can be quite handy, because the insulin spike's negligible, because it gets just docked right into the muscle. What else is he saying here? Low fat. I mean, again, why low fat? Some fat sources are fantastic for you. I think it's just it's like, oh, fat's high calorie, therefore bad.
Oh dear. The reason I put the monounsaturated and polysaturated fats, I'm gonna actually do a video on fats, just so you guys have a complete understanding of the fats. But
crash course on fat. Saturated fat is middling. It's usually in animal products. Trans fat, avoid at all costs. It's usually not in many products anymore, because it's banned, because it's technically considered poison by some people. What else we got? Polyunsaturated fat, generally good, just don't cook with it, because it's unstable and can produce free radicals, which are inflammatory molecules. And then monounsaturated fat, also good, and safer to cook with, things like olive oil. So there's your crash course.
Things to consider, like the difference in fat in, say, dark chocolate, which is high in saturated fat, but there's different fats in that. So we'll explain. But yeah,
I don't think he understands what he's saying.
The pointers, these are the things that we are going to avoid. Nuts are like perfect in terms of providing what we spoke about, which was the high fiber and high protein, and also high fat as well. You know, and they taste amazing.
Eat things that are low in fat, and he says nuts. I mean, nuts are good. I do enjoy them. Peanuts, almonds, macadamias are good too. Walnuts for that omega-3. Brazil nuts for that selenium. I mean, I have a whole nut tier list if you want to check that out. I seem to have tier lists on everything at this point, but yeah, most nuts are decent. And he's going to say don't overeat because they're high calorie. It's pretty hard to overeat on nuts just because, like, if you've ever tried to eat a lot of nuts, if you're bulking, you tend to get palate fatigue pretty quick and don't want to eat anymore.
The only thing is, you've got to be careful because of the great taste of nuts, they can be addictive and you end up sometimes eating more than you should. Because you should be mindful that even with healthy snacks, moderation is key.
They're also higher in fiber and protein, which can bring in that satiety signaling. So I guess he's fine on that point. Let's carry on.
You know, candy. All about that balance of finding something. So even though we didn't put it on the board, it's also good for your snacks to have a good amount of nutrients and vitamins, etc. Good stuff, you know? Like, why not?
So he's touching on a decent topic here. I think it's just poorly explained. So basically, it's about hitting all your micronutrient targets while being at the calorie level that you would usually eat or aim to eat or whatever. So this becomes a bit easier to, you know, hit those micro targets if your foods are micronutrient dense, right? And if your foods are low micronutrient density, you're not going to get to those micro targets unless you like eat way too many calories. Which, you know, maybe you don't want, right? So that's kind of his point there. But at the same time, if you're hitting all your micronutrient targets, some low micronutrient density foods aren't going to change anything because you don't need any more micronutrients, right? But anyway.
And sweets, you know, are just pretty much sugar. Sugar, sugar, sugar. First ingredient, sugar. Second ingredient,
pre-training sugar, boys.
Cornstarch. It's not great for you.
Yeah, I think he's in the States because I think Red 40's banned elsewhere. It's one of those toxic food dyes. I was in America recently and I was trying some of the candy there and I was like, oh, everything has Red 40 in it. Okay, stop it. If you are enjoying, please be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. It's free, helps me out, and I'd love to have you on board.
But again, like I said, in regards to the balance, I'm sure if you wanted to have a couple sweets every now and then, you know, that wouldn't be bad.
He's like just explaining very slowly and with way too many words that eat mostly whole foods and everything in moderation. That's kind of what he's just saying. But
what we will have next, we have these. This is a green pea snack that is a great alternative to crisps. Crisps in the UK is what we call chips for you US guys. So you guys call it chips. We call chips fries, but that's a whole different, you know.
Crazy. Yeah, chips or crisps. Interesting one, because they're one of those topics where it's like, he could probably look at the label and he'd be like, oh, they're actually okay because they're unsaturated fat, but they're usually polyunsaturated fat cooked in like canola oil, which is problematic because when it's heated up, of course, as I said before, a bit unstable and can be pro-inflammatory. So that's kind of the issue with chips, because on the label it looks like it's okay. It's like, okay, it's just some carbs but not sugar. It's fat but it's not saturated or trans fat. So that, yeah, not ideal.
They may look like green peas, but they do not hold the same value as green peas that are fresh. You know, so do not make that confusion.
It's like, oh, it's higher calorie per gram. It's because they just dried the water out of it, and vegetables are mostly water. It's literally that simple.
This is an alternative to crisps. It is not an alternative to eating the fresh vegetable, you know, so.
It's like the same thing when people like make those trash infographics about like dried fruit. It's like, oh, it's high in sugar. It's just because you took the water out of it, okay? You're eating the same sort of thing, it's just less water. Like the whole overarching thing with that video in particular, it feels like it's been written by someone who has an understanding of nutritional science, but they've just given him the script and he's kind of like poorly explained it, because it doesn't seem as though he's grasping the concepts very well. It's kind of just like he's saying them, and naturally they become poorly explained when you don't really understand it to an extent. But anyway, like, it's not terrible advice, it's just kind of lacking in my opinion. I found with a lot of these fitness influencers, like, they miss all the actual conceptual thinking, because it's almost as like if your audience never becomes educated, then they always have to come back, right? Because they always have to learn more because they never fully understand. That's just what it seems like to me. Either that or they just don't understand it well enough to explain it properly, but yeah, either way. All right, let's see what he eats as a regular meal. Because like, all those snacks, he's like trying to eat low calorie, but it's like, what do you eat, dude? You're over 100 kilos, like 6'2", I think. You can't just be eating low calorie all the time. How did you build the muscle initially? If you're natty.
Of whether you're going to enjoy this salad or not, the protein's got to taste nice. So we have our chicken breast here, and we're going to season it first before we put it in the oven. Now guys, set your oven to 450 or about 230 degrees Celsius and get that warmed up, because we're going to need that.
Yes.
Fire in
Every fake natty starts with chicken breast.
So, before we get going,
Please don't be canola.
Start with some olive oil.
Yes.
Use olive oil.
You got that one right. Go extra virgin if you want to like get even more flavonoid content, which are those anti-inflammatory compounds. But yeah, olive oil, as I said before, monounsaturated fat, good to cook with because it's more stable. It's also got some nice omega-3s, also naturally inflammatory. It's also got vitamin E, particularly the extra virgin, which is another anti-inflammatory, so great stuff.
Don't know if I can show you guys that. Can you see that?
You know he's a fake natty because he seasons his chicken, dude. He doesn't eat the dry chicken breast unseasoned like every true natty does. What do you do? Like enjoying your food? This is fitness. You're not allowed to.
Oh, and some of you are gonna ask, where was the salt? I don't really cook with salt at all. Probably some salt in some of these seasons, like the Cajuns probably got salt in it, a very small amount. So yeah,
that's right there, dude. Just check it.
I don't feel that I need to be honest. A lot of food items already have enough sodium, and yeah, I just don't add salt to my food. I've done a whole video on why I don't add salt. It's not a big deal, to be honest. It's just that, especially living out here in the US, food is high in sodium, very high. So I don't feel the need to add extra salt to my food.
Oh, a young healthy individual scared about potentially raising his blood pressure with sodium, which, what, is it because of the PEDs, dude? Because, you know, I'm telling you, you're probably not too worried about blood pressure if you're like lean and, you know, training all the time and eating reasonably clean. So is it because of the juice, dude? He went to the doctor and he's like, your blood vessels are like on the verge of like not being intact anymore.
And we are going to take some organic spring mix, triple washed, as much or as little as you'd like. Now we're also going to add some baby oil.
Yeah, like general like leafy greens like that, aside from a few, like I recommend spinach, but usually cook it. Mostly it's just like general green garden salad things. They're pretty low in micronutrients actually. You're better off just picking something else.
There you go.
Why is he never wearing a shirt, by the way?
Different textures, you know,
I feel like you don't wear a shirt because it's like, guys, I'm big, trust me, bro. It's like, it takes away, like adds all the accountability. I don't know. Should I just not wear a shirt? I feel like
Cranberries are awesome and great antioxidants, but they're high in sugar. So I've actually opted for a variety that is 50% less sugar.
I'm thinking the whole time, where are your carbs, dude? Carbs are like the cornerstone of sports nutrition to fuel your training adequately and maintain energy levels and even recovery post-workout. But like there's no carbs here, aside from a little bit from the fruit. And even then he's like, oh, okay, I'm getting carb-reduced cranberries, because I don't want any more carbs. It's like, dude, you're huge, you need the carbs, your muscle need it, unless you're actually keto, but you're not because you're eating dried fruit. It's like, okay.
And we're gonna add a few of those. Packed already, I'm gonna add even more. I'm gonna add an egg white omelette.
Okay, so he's adding some eggs to it. But I'm just thinking like, there's a little bit of carbs from the fruit, barely any from the leafy greens. And now he's adding eggs and this chicken breast. Egg whites, so there's no fat either. So this is like, for all the macro bros, this is just like 80% protein. But it's like, you need the fats to maintain testosterone levels unless you're injecting testosterone. And you need the carbs to support your training. But it's like, you're not getting anything here. Like the overinvestment on protein, I think is just so problematic. You talk to any athlete, it's not really the case. It's like you get enough and then you make sure you're actually fueling adequately with good calorie total and making sure you're getting enough decent fat sources and carbs to support the training. So I just kind of question this sort of thing. It's like, yes, they're all clean foods, but that doesn't mean it supports your lifestyle. I mean, the ingredients are nice. Berries in general are really high in antioxidant content. I use a lot of frozen blueberries. Olive oil is nice, nothing wrong with chicken breast and egg whites, but again, like the egg yolk has a lot of nutrients that you're kind of missing out on, and it's just kind of lacking in my opinion, you know? There's so many things that you need that he's not really getting. Also, there's no sodium. He's kind of avoided sodium here. It's like, you need all these things, dude. You can't just leave them out. But yeah, that's kind of a lesson in like, you can make these videos and just put together clean foods and it looks nice on camera and no one's going to flame you for it because it's like, oh, it's clean eating. But when you really get into it, it's not really supporting the things that you need to do. So I kind of question that. But again, it's so low calorie as well. Like the guy's huge. He needs more, dude. There's no way he's just eating this a couple times a day. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you thought about this down below. Hopefully it was somewhat educational. I don't mean to hate on the guy. I don't mind him, but I just thought I'd add some information to it. Anyway, that's been me. I will see you in the next one.